discipline is what what did it for me, right? It's knowing that, hey, I don't want to do this, but I have to do this.
Right.
And this is this is the lifestyle I choose. And I don't ever want to go back to the old me. I don't ever want to go back to that old Logan. And so I'm gonna do this. It's like this girl literally just eats all day, every day on her channel, and she's getting millions of views. I'm
Yeah.
like, here I am, like busting my ass off. I film a video that takes all day, then I gotta edit it all day the next
Don't
day.
get me started on
And
that.
then
Oh,
all this girl does is just has to do this. And I'm like, and she's killing it. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I need to reevaluate my life choices. Like,
hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, I am very thrilled to be interviewing Logan Delgado. Hi, Logan. Thank you so much for accepting my invite.
absolutely. Thank you for having me. I absolutely love conversations. I love chatting with people. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I used to watch your channel, as I was telling you before we started recording. For a very long time, when I first got into keto, you had this phenomenal transformation. And I learned so much about ketosis, the lifestyle, everything that goes along with it. And so I really want my audience, if they don't already know you, to get to know you a little bit more. So can you share a little bit about your background in general, and then your transformation and specifically?
Yeah, so like you said, years ago I discovered a diet called the ketogenic diet, which is actually funny that I was actually doing this diet um before I even knew what it was. Like I was following a plan that my best friend and coworker gave me, and I lost tons of weight on it, right? And we'll dive into that, but um yeah, so I was doing the ketogenic diet. I started talking about it on YouTube. People are freaking out because they couldn't wrap their heads around how can this guy be losing fat if he's eating fat? And I know, trust me, I was the same way. I was like, how is this working? Like I'm eating fat and losing fat. How does that make sense? Um, and so that's kind of how my background came. I didn't go to school for this. I'm strictly experience, life experience. When people come to me or when I share my journey, I'm 100% speaking from my experience. This is what I did. This is what worked for me. It might work for you. It might not. It might
Yeah.
not. The only way to find out is to try it, right? And so,
That's,
um,
by the way, far more powerful than a degree. All the degrees that I have, honestly, they're useless. My bachelor's, master's, and a PhD in the field.
yeah,
And I was taught eat all of the carbs and be careful with the fats. They don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going to happen to the academic world. So trust
yeah,
me, you're far more legitimate and you're helping people the right way
yeah.
more than all these PhDs are.
Yeah, and so what I try to express to people, and especially people that are listening right now, is like, hey, look, I'm a father. I'm very busy. I'm a husband. I have two beautiful young girls. I have a 5-year old that her name is Camila. I have a 6-year old. Her name is Logan, and they keep me super busy. And so, what I want to show other parents, just like myself, especially other fathers, is that hey, look, it's never too late to start your fitness journey. It's never too late to start eating healthy. It's never too late to start lifting weights. And what I try to relay to other parents is like, look, do it for your kids. And the important thing is, if you do it for your kids see that. Your kids, hey, daddy's working out. Like I can't go. It's beautiful, but it's also a curse. Like I can never go work out by myself anymore because my girls want to go with me all the time. And look, I love that my girls want to come. I love that they've got to work out, but when they do come, I can't like truly focus. But
Yeah.
it's give or take, right? It's like, hey, I want them to get in the gym. I want them to get comfortable being in the gym. I don't ever want them to be intimidated because I get it. Like especially for women, I know it can be intimidating to go into the gym.
I hope you are enjoying this interview so far. To help you on your fitness journey, check out my weight loss and addiction guides, Dopamine Body and Dopamine Brain. They're going to help you lose the weight, and then the dopamine brain is going to help you actually adhere to the diet by learning how to manipulate your baseline level of dopamine so that you are not craving and vulnerable to binge or go back to your prior eating habits. Also, if what you're doing has stopped working and you're hitting a plateau, there is a very easy way to counter that, check out my reverse dieting guide called SUPERBREED Metabolism. That's right, you can really supercharge your metabolism, but it's not in the way that you think. It's not about eating all you want all at once. You have to earn that right, and there's a very specific way that you do that, by which you slowly but surely increase and increase and increase your metabolism to the point where you break out of that plateau and you can go back to losing weight. Also, if you just got out of a dieting phase, do not go back to maintenance calories very quickly. You have to go through a reverse dieting phase. That is the missing secret. And when people don't do that, they regain the weight and you end up yo-yo dieting all your life, losing weight, and then gaining it all back. And so the SUPERBREED Metabolism Guide is the ultimate secret that you may not have heard about just yet. All right, now back to the podcast.
And you're walking into a gym and there's a bunch of dudes in there and maybe they're grunting, depending on what gym you go to. It can be intimidating, but I promise you over time, it'll get easier. You'll learn how to lift weights. You'll talk to people, and overall it'll be a great experience. So that is my background, is like, hey, I started off being severely overweight, severely had a lot of chronic diseases, and I just shared my journey with everybody, and that's where I'm at today. And fast forward 10 years later, I now own a company called BIOCOACH, where we specialize in helping people reverse type 2 diabetes, obesity, insulin resistance, PCOS, and other chronic diseases.
Wow, fantastic. So let's start with your history with, was it like, would you say you had food addiction, or was it just like,
yeah, that's a good question. Food addiction, maybe, but I truly, this is my honest opinion on, and what I truly believe is what I had, and that's the lack of knowledge, and that's culture.
Mm.
That's what my culture believes in. So, for those of you watching and listening, I'm 100% Mexican American, and so a lot of my culture and a lot of my family are all about getting together and just eating tortillas and rice and beans and tacos, and the food's good, but it's not probably what you should be eating all the time, right? And so that is what my culture grew up on. My culture is a very hardworking culture that's all about work and getting up early and doing what you need to do, but it was never about nutrition or learning about nutrition. We didn't know anything about nutrition. My parents didn't know nothing about nutrition, right? And so I took those habits that I learned as a child, of just eating sandwiches and Doritos and warm up ramen and just, whatever, just eating tacos and stuff. I took that as I got older.
Yeah.
And well, obviously, as you get older, you start gaining a lot of weight. And so I was very active in high school. I played all sports in high school, so I didn't really have to worry about it. Plus, you're 18, your testosterone's high, so you could get away with that. But over the years, as I got older, when I went off to college, and I was living by myself, I didn't have anybody telling me what to do. So I was staying up all night. I was late night eating out and just getting no sleep and partying and just living the young, 20-year-old lifestyle. But that quickly caught up with me. And it wasn't until I was the age of 26 when I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, holy crap, like, dude, you're obese, type 2 diabetic, you have insulin resistance, you have high cholesterol, you have high blood pressure, like, what is going on? And so that was a huge wake-up call.
Wow.
But
At 26, you were already diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and
oh
hypertension?
yeah, oh yeah, for sure, for
Mm.
sure, yeah, oh yeah,
Interesting.
definitely. And again, I think they may have caught that, because one interesting thing that a lot of people don't know is that so I don't have a thyroid.
Okay.
My thyroid was removed in 2005. I had a very rare disease that is called Graves' disease. And what Graves' disease is, that it actually gives you a hyperthyroid. Most people have hypo, which
Mhm.
is slow metabolism. Mostly women get it, and it's hard for them to lose weight. Mine was the opposite. Mine worked too much, too fast. So when I was in high school, my senior year, people were very scared for me, and I didn't understand it because I'm a kid at this. You know, I'm a kid. I'm 18. I can't look past Friday night. Like, what are we gonna do Friday night? That's all I ever. That is my life, right? So I don't know anything about nothing. And I remember coaches and teachers coming up to me and be like, "Hey, is everything okay? Are you good at home?" And I'm like, "Why are they asking me that? I don't understand." But I get it now. I had lost so much weight.
Mhm.
I had got down to I think the lowest weight I ever saw was 126 pounds. And that was because my overactive thyroid.
Mm.
And my mom finally was like, "Hey, something's wrong. We need to take you to the doctor." And sure enough, they diagnosed me with Graves' disease. Long story short, so every 6 months I'd have to get blood work. But, at age 26, whatever the doctor found was like, dude, your panels look horrible. So again, that was the wake up call. And that's just want to throw that in there because, for the longest time, um, I blamed my thyroid for the way I looked.
Mm.
Oh, well, it's not fair that my buddies can lose weight so fast. They have a thyroid. Oh, well, it's not my fault that my friend has a six pack and he can build muscle. I don't have a thyroid. I would always use that as an excuse, but never looking at the fact that I was eating Jack in the Box. I was eating Taco Bell. I was never exercising, never going to the gym, never getting sleep, never drinking water, drinking all the time, right? All these things that truly are the reason why, but using excuses of, well, I don't have this, and
Right.
I always want to say that because I think a lot of people do that, right? It's like, well, I don't have this, or I have hypothyroid, or you know, I have PCOS, or whatever it may be, right? If there's an excuse, you'll find it.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. It's pretty common. I mean, maybe not as common as Hashimoto's, which is slower thyroid, but people who don't have a thyroid, I've had a good chunk, like maybe like a handful throughout my years, teaching and coaching people, and that's always such a huge mental block because they feel
Yes,
like, well, if I don't have a thyroid, can I ever really achieve my health and fitness goals? And you are a prime example that it is absolutely doable.
yes.
So there you have it. Do you take medication for it?
Yeah, so I take a medication called levothyroxine,
Yeah.
and currently my numbers are at 250.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, I've been at that number for a good while, and I have to get blood work. Like I believe it's every 3 months or 6 months. I'm really not sure. I have been doing this for so long. At this point, it's almost like a dog and pony show. Every
Yeah.
time I'm out of refills, so I'm like, okay, like got to call them. I got to go up there. They take my blood work. I know what they're
Right.
gonna tell me, and once I do that, then they can refill my prescription, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been on levothyroxine since 2005, and I
Yes.
take it every day, first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Um, it's one of those things where I was taking it all the years that I was overweight, and I've been
Mhm.
taking it all the years that I've been in shape. So that's not the factor. It
Right.
was it was life choices, life decisions, lifestyle changes. That's what changed everything.
And what was the initial spark that kickstarted your
Yeah, you
transformation?
guys are gonna love this. I think especially you'll love this too. So, it took me a long time to share this story because it was a little embarrassing. It was a little embarrassing, but I'm actually glad that I shared this story. So, there's two things. Number one, I had just gotten a new job and I need to go get some work pants. And I remember going into the store and I was like, okay, well, let me get this size because I'm pretty sure I'm this size. I've been this size forever, right? I put them on. I'm like, holy crap, these are tight. I can't put these on. And I'm like, my mind's blown. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, am I really a size 40? Like, this is insane to me. Like, how am I a size 40 where it actually feels loose and I feel good? And I remember like, oh my gosh, how the hell did I get here? And I snapped that picture. So it's the one like picture I would use for all my transformations. I'm sitting in the dressing room and I have my camera out and I'm looking at the mirror like that. That's me shopping for those pair of pants for my new job. And I snapped that picture and I was like, okay, enough is enough. I need to get in the
Yeah.
gym. Right. So that was the spark. That was just the spark. But let me tell you what the gasoline was.
Okay.
Okay. So I was on Facebook, and do you remember when like Facebook would like say, "Hey, recommend a friend to you?" They'd say, "Hey, so and so has like 80 friends in common. I'm pretty sure you probably know them too, right?" And so here I am scrolling on Facebook, and this guy pops up, and he's in the gym like this, and I'm like, "Oh, well, the guy that Facebook recommended that I be friends with was my wife's ex-boyfriend in high school." And here he
Oh
is.
no.
Yeah, here he is with his shirt off in the gym, flexing. Here I am looking the worst I've ever looked, in the worst shape of my life, not in a good place mentally. I know I need help. I know I need to get healthy. I don't know how, but I remember that popped up and I was like, "Oh, hell no." And I know it sounds petty and whatever, but this is the truth, guys. This is the truth. I said, hell no. This guy is not gonna look better than me. I screenshotted that picture because we weren't friends. And so like it was kind of blurry because I wasn't gonna add him as a friend. Like Facebook would just show you like the little picture. And so like I screenshotted it, I made it big, and I used it as my screensaver. And so anytime that I would not want to go to the gym, I'd want to leave early, I would want to not eat a healthy meal, I would just look at my phone and be like, F that. I'm going to do it because he's not going to look better than me. And so that was the gasoline that truly just absolutely launched me to the moon when it came to my fitness journey. And again, it took me about 3 years to share that story. Um, for the audience listening, I want to share another part two to this. So I ended up running into this guy a couple of years down the road. Um, I was going to a movie and he was there, and like we're not friends or anything, but I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, dude?" He's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Oh man, you look great." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, thank you." And I was like, "Man, this guy has no idea the impact he's had on my life, because I would not be here today talking to you. I would not be here wearing this shirt. I would not have that plaque in the back if it was not for him." And I don't know to this day if he knows. Maybe he's crept on my stuff's all public, so
Right.
you can easily go watch any of my stuff.
I'm
Uh,
sure he knows.
I don't know today if he knows. Who knows? It's one of those things where it would be crazy if he did, but he has played a huge impact and he's launched me to where I'm at today. And I almost want to be like, "Hey, thank you, man. Thank you, but not thank you."
And it was you that turned that around as opposed to feeling like a victim or feeling sorry for yourself. You chose to take even the negative energy and use it as fuel, you know? And
Yeah.
that's such a common theme, you know, like David Goggins or people who are very successful, they will use both forces,
Yes.
the pulling forces and the pushing forces, right? It's like you can
Yes.
visualize your ideal life and that's your pull forces, but also the pushing forces that use that. It's all energy. It's free energy. Use it.
Yes. Yeah. And what I've talked about a lot is over the past is that I took what I'm glad you just said that, because I took that negative animosity because it's not good. It was the gasoline, but it's not what I should build a foundation on,
Mm,
which is envy, jealousy, anger, fear, right? All those things, going to use a Star Wars reference, all those things lead to the dark side, right? But I use that and I turned it to something positive. Like for people who know me, they always like, "Logan's the positive, always smiling, good vibes." Like I wanted to take what started off as bad energy and turn it into all nothing but positive. So that's why I'm very big on like being grateful and always being happy and glass half full uh
yeah.
approach.
Even if let's say people are listening to this and they're like, yeah, okay, but I really don't want to take that negative energy. There's something that it just feels off or whatever. Know that you will take it anyway because you will become bitter. when
Yes.
you know that you can be something better, but you're just not willing to do the work. At some point, you can only try to pretend like it doesn't bother you for so long. You will
Mhm.
develop that bitterness. So it's going to happen to you anyway. Might as well take control of it and use it to get to a better place where now you can help inspire more people. Maybe you can inspire him too to,
Yeah.
start a YouTube channel. Like, you
Yeah.
can screenshot this
That
right
that
now.
would be funny. That I mean, like, dude, that I never even thought about it, but how funny would that be? Because I don't follow the guy. I don't know. I don't.
Right.
But it would be funny if he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start a podcast and I'm gonna start working out because this one guy
Right.
made a video about me," and so it's like I'm gonna get him back now. Who knows? But
Right.
it's funny, like, it's really cool is that I got tons of messages from guys like, "Dude, um, thank you for sharing your story. I recently got a divorce and my, yada yada yada, right? Like it's kind of the similar thing, right? Like my wife left me for this, or my wife's ex-boyfriend popped up too, or whatever, and they're like, thank you for kind of sparking that journey. So it's cool to like know that you helped people start their journeys as well. And that that the way mine started was actually fairly common and
Yeah.
nothing to be embarrassed about.
No, absolutely. Your struggle, really, you can turn it into being the best thing that ever happened to you. Anything negative that happens, go through a breakup, you get fired, whatever, and it's like, okay, how can I turn this into the best thing that has ever happened to me? And you could take it from there. So, how about the amount of time that it took you? Like, how
Wow.
was that process of really going through the whole transformation?
Yeah, so I would say it took about a year and a half for me to lose a total of 70 pounds.
Hmm.
Um, but that year and a half went like that, guys. And the cool thing is through that year and a half, I'm having to buy new clothes. I'm like having to buy new pants. People are like coming up to me like, dude, what are you doing? You look great, right? Because it's kind of hard to see your own transformation because you see yourself every day, right? You brush your teeth, look in the mirror, you get dressed. Like it's kind of hard to see you transform, but your coworkers see it. Your family members see it, your friends see it. They see like, dude, wow, what the heck? You look great. So it took about a year and a half, but I I I I think it went by pretty fast because again, I was utilizing the ketogenic diet. And so when you do that, it everything happens very, very quickly. You get into ketosis, you start shredding down. And so guys, like I wish you could see the picture of like how I looked. I mean, I'm talking man boobs, big,
I'll
huge
put it, don't worry.
yeah, big, huge gut, no muscle. My arms are just flat. Never seen a gym in my life. And to like shredded, like abs and define and muscles and just looking like just how I wanted to look, right? And so it was a really cool transformation and seeing the pictures were like, wow, I can't believe this. Like this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted to look like because during my transformation phase, that's when like YouTube really started getting popular, YouTube fitness. There was a one gentleman who is very successful today who actually started in my gym in my hometown of where I'm at, and he was like the pioneer of filming in the gym. And I remember,
Woodchuck? Was it Woodchuck?
no, his name was Christian Guzman.
Oh, I know him. Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
everybody knows
yeah,
him.
yeah, everyone knows him, and
Yeah.
so he was like a child at the time. Like, I remember going into the gym, I hadn't started YouTube, guys. I had gone into the gym, started to work out, started my transformation, and he would be in there every day with his tripod and camera, and I'd be like, "What is this guy doing? Like, this is so weird." Remember, this is 2012, guys. This is now you can't go to a gym and not find a tripod. At least the gym I go to, like every broccoli head kid has a tripod and camera. It's like but back then, like I'm trying to walk around and get not knock over his camera. And then finally one day I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, are you doing this for a school project? Because I see that he goes to the college in my
Mhm.
hometown, Texas State. I see. Is he doing this for like? Is this for like college? This is like, what are you doing this for? And he's like, oh man, my name's Christian Guzman. I have a YouTube channel. Check it out. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And from that point, I remember when I checked out his channel, he blew up. I'm talking, he had signed with Gymshark. Now, this again, remember, guys, 2012, 2013, like this is the early days. And I was like, wow, this guy's like traveling the world. He's in Germany, he's in the UK, he's in California, he's at the Arnold. He's traveling the world doing fitness. I was like, I have a pretty good story. Like, I lost a lot of weight. I'm losing a lot of weight. Like, why don't I share mine? And so
Yeah.
started a YouTube channel. And so that's kind of like what sparked me into getting on social media was him. So yeah,
That is such a cool story. First of all, that you know him in person, and
yeah.
then
Yeah,
he's the one who
he even
inspired.
sends me energy drinks all the time. So shout out to
Wow.
3D. Yeah, he's
I love him and his I think they get married, or his fiance or his
yes, they
girlfriend,
got
Buff
married.
Bunny. They got
Yeah,
married. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, because she's also my height, so I love to always see what she's doing.
yes.
And I love that drive that they're just taken over. I love to see that. So I watch them both, but maybe her a little bit more too. So that is super cool. Do you still see him?
I don't. I have not gone to his new Alpha Land
Mm,
uh, yet in Houston. I went when it was Alpha Elite, which was a smaller one, but now he's got like it's literally like the Disney World of
yeah,
fitness. Like what he's done and what he's doing is just unbelievable,
amazing.
and,
And
and
that's
I,
yeah.
it's crazy. Like it's nuts.
Isn't it? It's like you don't have gatekeepers anymore. Anything you want to do in your life, you just, the information is there. Get on, everybody's on their phone, right? They have access to all the information.
Yeah,
Whatever you want to do, transform your body, listen to these kinds of interviews, create a crazy business empire, become a multimillionaire, billionaire. Like, I think now multimillionaires is like nothing. Now we need
yeah.
to aim for
Everyone's
billionaire status,
right there. Yes.
right? So it's just so exciting. It's like this is the best time to be alive, really.
Yeah, it's one of those times where like nobody has any excuses. And like it almost like I always think about this. I'm like, man, those guys who did it back in the day, like Henry Ford and they didn't have any iPhones, right? Like anything we need to know, anything we need, boom, it's in the palm of our hand. So we have no excuses now.
Yes.
So and like you and I were discussing earlier, for anybody who is thinking about like, you know what, I have a passion, but I'm not sure it's going to pay the bills or I'm not sure it's going to do this. Let me share with you my story, okay? Because I didn't just wake up one day. I didn't just start a YouTube channel and it grew and was successful and the rest is history. No, guys, it was very hard. So let me share my story. My this will be the entrepreneur chapter of this podcast. So when I started my YouTube channel, I was working a 9 to 5, right? Working my 9 to 5. It was a great job. Nothing wrong with it. It was a great job. I loved it. To tell you the truth, it was good. Um, but I started doing YouTube and Instagram, and my channel's blowing up, and my Instagram's blowing up, and companies are reaching out to me. They want to work with me, and I'm like, man, this is fun. Like I'm loving this. Well, it got to the point where like I started to drop the ball at my 9 to 5 because all I could think about was my passion. Right, which was YouTube, going to events, speaking to people, traveling, and and I got to this really big fork in the road. It was like where I started to mess up relationships at work that meant a lot to me because I was dropping the ball at work because I was focusing on my passion. And so I was like, okay, I need to make a decision. Do I focus on my career? Mind you, I'm about to have a baby. My wife's pregnant. The job that I had was a great job. I worked for the local government. So, you retirement, 401k, they match. Like it's one of those jobs where you that's where when you get in there, you do your 30 and you're set, right? It's traditional what most of our parents did. Or I can take a leap of faith, follow my passion where there's no certainty, right? Where it could last for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and it all come crashing down. And then maybe I go back begging for a job. I don't know. But I said, you know what? I want to do something that I'm excited to wake up every single morning. Now, the job I was going to, if money wasn't an option, I wouldn't be doing it. It was a great job, but if money was an option, I wouldn't be doing it. If money was an option, would I be doing YouTube, going to the gym, talking to people, meeting people? Absolutely, because that's what I do. That's what I love. Like, throw me in a room full of strangers, we'll come out best friends. I get my energy from people. I love it. And so I did that, guys, but it didn't happen overnight. It took about 3 to 4 years of doing YouTube, doing social media, grinding every day. I remember, if you guys go check out my old keto videos, I'm filming in the office. I'm filming in my office at my desk. I'm filming in my car. And so I try to make it work, right? But it took years and years to finally be able to quit my job and pursue my passion. I just didn't do it over a short period of time. So if you're listening to this, guys, and watching this, whatever your passion is, work on it when you can. Work on it, after work. If you can during work, don't be like me. Don't get in trouble. I'm not telling you to ride the clock, but work on your passion when you can, and slowly over time, it might take a couple of years. You'll get to that point where you can eventually say, hey, I'm going to let go of my 9 to 5. I'm going to pursue my passion. But I did it. I would be lying to you if I told you it wasn't scary. I'd be lying to you if I told you there wasn't stressful times. It's been an absolutely roller coaster ride of immense highs and then lows. We're like, oh God, what are we gonna do? But it's something that I love doing. And so, yeah, that's kind of like, for those you don't know, yeah, that's how it started. Started my YouTube channel and social medias, and ended up leaving a very secure job to just kind of do what I love.
So it took you 4 years from the start of the social media to
Yeah,
to quit your
yeah,
9 to 5.
I want to say I started in 2012, very lightly, like maybe created an Instagram account. I don't know when I started a YouTube channel, maybe 2013.
Mm,
And I quit my job in 2018. So what is that? Like,
five
what?
years, five,
Yeah,
six
5 years.
years.
Okay. So 5 years, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, about 5 years, about 5 or 6 years. It took me to,
Yeah,
so it took a very long time.
yeah.
People like would always comment on myself. Well, if I worked from home, or if I lived at home, or if I did this, or if I could work out all day, if I didn't have to go to work, guys, I did. I did have to do all those things. But now because I work so hard, like, I'm able to do those things. And so can you, in whatever you want to do, whatever your passion is, whatever your interest is. Trust me, the world is big enough, the internet is big enough that you will get a following from it, right? Like, trust me, like, whatever, you don't have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to do what Dr. Sarah's doing. Do whatever you love, whatever your passion is. There will be an audience that follows you, I promise, if you love it enough.
Exactly. Everything is hard. Anything you're gonna want to do is gonna be hard. Even a 9 to 5 can be difficult, dealing with bosses or coworkers, everything's gonna be hard. So if we know that, might as well just choose something that's gonna give you more energy than it's gonna take out of you, and you're gonna be
Yes.
consistent. And eventually, now you be consistent with your passion, it's inevitable. You're gonna make it as long as you're constantly chasing getting better and better and better. So I love that. This is for me probably even more exciting to talk about than the diet stuff. And
Yeah.
it's funny when I work with clients and they lose the weight, a lot of times, okay, we achieve our goals, and then it's like they stay working with me because now I'm coaching them on building a brand, on changing the mindset. It seems like it's just as much of an equal target for people because it's like a full life transformation.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. So the individual, me, we are our own brand, right?
Yeah.
When people say, I don't have marketing experience, but they're doing social media, I'm like, yeah, you do. You are your brand. You are marketing. You are advertising yourself. And so, that's so important, and I always knew that. I always knew that when I started my social media, I knew that I having sponsorships, working with having brand deals, working with different companies, that's not sustainable. That's not long lasting. If, like Christian Guzman, like these other people, like Buff Bunny, that were all sponsored by, the biggest supplement companies, the biggest clothing companies, right? The biggest food companies. What did they do? They created their own brand, because that is what's long lasting. Knowing that you can't do social media forever, but if you create a business around your brand, that will last, right? If you can gain trust, gain a big following, have a good product, that will last longer than yourself. And so that's what I knew I had to do, because I made that mistake early on. I hooked up with a supplement company, which I have nothing but good things to say about them. And we were the second company in the world uh, to launch keto meal, which was a keto meal replacement. And it
Mm,
was so amazing. It was so good. And it crushed it. I mean,
yeah.
it crushed it. People loved it because it tasted amazing. And
Mm,
there was nothing available at that time. The first one that came out was by a company called EAS, and it was horrible. It
mm.
tasted disgusting. So people loved ours, and people needed that because, right, people worked 9 to 5s and they didn't have time to cook, or they didn't have time to do this or food prep. So they just do their supplement of keto meal, and they could still have their ketogenic diet. And it crushed it. Well, guess what? Over the next couple of years, they ended up selling the company. I don't own the company. I didn't
Yeah.
have shares in the company. I didn't have stock in the company. So guess what? I had to meet the new owners, transition. The two founders of the company were like, "We're out of here." I still talk to them this day. They're good friends of mine, but at that time, I didn't have that deal set up with them. So here I am. I helped them build this company. I think, like, I helped build their dreams to where they were able to sell their company, which is what every business owner wants to do. You start a business, over a couple of years, you sell it, you start another business.
Right. You exit. Yeah.
You exit and you do it again, right? So I'm like, wow, this sucks, because I didn't really get along with the new owners. Nothing wrong with them. We just didn't see eye to eye. And then it lasted a year and I was out, right?
Yeah.
But I knew that. I knew that at the time. And so when I met my very good friend, Matt Payne, who was the founder of BioCoach. Well, at the time, it was called Keto Coach. So we've had an evolution over the time, just like everything else. My diet's had an evolution. My mindset's had an evolution. Everybody has, you evolve. And so at the time, we were Keto Coach. And I was still with Metabolic. I was still with my American Metabolics, was a supplement company, but I knew I needed to do something different this time. So he
Okay.
said, "Hey, Logan, I love what you're doing. I need somebody like you. I know all the back end stuff. I know where to source the items. I know all the technical stuff, which I don't know, right? But he doesn't know the front end stuff. He doesn't, you see, he's like, hey, everybody in the keto space. Seems like everybody loves you. You're good friends with everybody. Like, I'd love to partner with you. I said, all right, let's meet in California. So we actually met at Metabolic Health Summit. I don't know if you've ever been to that
Never.
conference. That's an amazing conference. Nothing but good things to say. Victoria, shout out to Victoria. So we met, we hit it off instantly, hit it off. And I said, hey, look, if I'm gonna work with you, this is not gonna be a sponsorship. This is not gonna be a brand deal. I have to own part of this company. And he was like, you know what, you're right. Let's do it. So we negotiated for 6 months, signed the contract. I became the co-founder. Him and I own the company, and the rest is history. We've now have evolved and elevated to BioCoach now, which we are mostly focused on, again, lifestyle changes, helping people reverse, their chronic diseases through lifestyle. So coaching, showing you what to eat, steps, video content. We partnered with people like Dr. Jamie Seaman. She's actually our chief medical officer. She's amazing. So she's on our team.
Nice.
Chef Michael Keto is part of our company as well. And so it's been amazing. It's been really cool how far we've gone. But again, I want to go back to, again, like, I know I can't do the social media thing forever, right? And so investing in something that will last longer than that time frame, like BioCoach, which I want BioCoach to be a household name in the next next 4 or 5 years. So anybody
How
who's
how
yeah,
many years in business has BioCoach been in business?
we have been in business since 2018.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's I don't like to do math in public, but that is
Me neither. I like to use
five
my
and it's like I do that. My hubby is like horrified when I'm counting like the most basic number, and I have to use my fingers. Like, oh my
I'm
God, did
same
you just
here.
count that?
Same here. Same here. Yeah.
It's
So
so
yeah,
right.
7 years yeah, in business. And again, look, there have been times where we're like, we're crushing it. This is our best month. This is our best week. And then there's days where we're like, whoa, hey Matt, and Logan, we're not gonna pay ourselves this month.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just the brutal, honest truth, right? There's times where we're like, we have to pay our employees before we pay ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
and then you have to have those tough discussions with your wife on why you're paying other people and not paying yourself. And you got to explain to them that, look, we're looking at a bigger picture, grand
Mhm.
vision, not just, now, but um
How do
well,
you stay, because I know the highs and lows of entrepreneurship, and I'm like, just whenever you're working for yourself, and like for me, obviously it's not even close to the company that you have, but it's like the warm up, right? And so
yeah,
I understand like the ebb and flow of things, the responsibility you have to know like don't take jumps right away unless you have a certain level of stability somewhere. So
yeah.
how do you stay mentally like you don't get how do you not get overwhelmed when those things
Yeah, so
come in?
this is something I learned from Matt. Actually, Matt had taught me this, and this is something I didn't really ever consider, but this is huge. So it's knowing what you're great at and knowing what you're not great at. And what you're not great at is hiring those people and letting them do it, right? So I our staff now is like our staff is just like the A team. Like I always joke around, like if for any of my football reference people, they're like the '94 Cowboys. Like they're just a bunch of all stars. I don't get in their way because they're doing things that I have no idea how to do, that
Mm,
I need help on, right? And so I let them do it.
yeah.
And it's like offloading that burden, offloading that stress that was like, oh, I got to figure out SEO. I got to figure out Facebook marketing and Facebook ads. And I'm not good at that. I am a very much like, I'm like a slingshot. Just throw me a direction and let me go and just let me just do it. Like, that's why I love doing social media and doing videos and talking to people and networking, but I'm not very organized. I'm not very structured. We need, we need chief of staffs for that, right? I very much have these grand visions. I know what I want to do, but I can't put it on paper. I cannot put it on a plan, right? I can't
Mm,
master plan and be like, all right, well, I just told you where I want to, I just told you I wanted to get all the way to Disneyland. I don't know how we're going to get there. I don't know what route we're going to take. I don't know who's driving. I don't know where we're going to stop for food. I don't know where we're,
yeah.
letting other people that are good at that I know
Yeah.
I'm not good at, handle that. So
Yeah.
that's one of my biggest advice is like, look,
Delegate.
delegate and hire people that are much, much smarter than you.
Yeah.
That's my number one thing.
Fantastic. And also books, workshops, things like that. I'm very much into that. I was wondering, do you do that?
Okay. I've never got into books. Never. Have I wanted to? Sure. But I've never got into books. Trust me, I have a list of books that I should be reading. People are like, Matt's very big on books. He's like, you need to read these, you need to read these. I never do. But what I am very big on is podcasts. I
Okay.
am huge on I listen to podcasts all the time, right? Um, motivation. Obviously, I'm a huge Joe Rogan podcast fan. Uh one of the coolest things that ever happened to me was there was a client that we worked with who was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and
Mhm.
he like shouted out BioCoach. It was
On
amazing.
the
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
I was like, imagine you and your family listen to Joe Rogan all the time, and then on one episode they're talking about BioCoach. It was amazing. Anyways, it made my,
Wow.
absolutely made my year. But yeah, I love podcasts. Like, and that's
Yeah.
where I get a lot of my like knowledge, motivation, deep thoughts, news
Yeah.
is all podcasts.
And how about I have so many questions, but I'm gonna try to
Oh, dude, like I'm loving this. Keep going. Like
Me too. You know, like your energy, sometimes like you know about a person, but like you never know how their energy is going to be like when
yeah,
you talk to them. And
yeah,
I'm so happy that you have such a positive, encouraging, like just a fantastic vibe that I love. So, let me ask you about discipline. How much
yes.
do you think that has played a part in your everything?
It's everything. It
Mhm,
really is.
mhm,
It is truly everything. And I'll be the first one to admit I lost a little bit of discipline this past year. So I had a very 2023 was a very hard year for me. I lost my sister in May of 2023. She was my little sister. She was only 30 and it wrecked my life, completely wrecked my life. And the number one thing that it wrecked was discipline. Absolutely.
mhm,
Hands down. Um, Before that, I kind of reference that time period of my life of when things were normal, when, when things were normal. I would get up in the morning, do my morning cardio, no ands, ifs, or buts about it. That's
mm,
what I do. That's part of life. Days that I don't want to do it, doesn't matter. Discipline. I do it. Have my first meal at 11 o'clock, second meal at 1, third meal at 3, workout 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock meal. That's my day. That's my schedule, right? um I lost all discipline because I was so broken. I was so
mm,
damaged. I was so heartbroken. um and I'm still trying to get that discipline back. I'm not in the shape that I want to be in. I'm definitely not in the shape that I was in before, during May. And a lot of that is discipline. Discipline is everything. So I can have these like little motivations like, all right, I'm gonna get back on, I'm gonna get back to it. Let's go. It just happened this weekend. I did cardio on Saturday, I did cardio on Sunday, and then Monday came around and it's like, oh man, I was thinking about my sister. Facebook memories popped up and a
mm.
picture of my daughters, and it's like you get sad and it's just a downward spiral. But
Yeah,
um discipline is everything, guys. Like
yeah.
you can have these little spurts of motivation
Mhm.
and whatnot, but discipline is what what did it for me, right? It's knowing that, hey, I don't want to do this, but I have to do this.
Right.
And this is the lifestyle I choose. And I don't ever want to go back to the old me. I don't ever want to go back to that old Logan. And so I'm gonna do this. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I am so sorry to hear about your sister, and I've never personally had any close death to me. I still don't know what that feels like.
yeah,
But I'm sure that like it's hard. It's hard because like I'm always talking with my clients about like you gotta be tough for life. We're gonna raise that baseline dopamine level. We're gonna train and
yeah,
stuff, but like so that you wouldn't like fall apart if some tragedy hit. But at the same time, I've never been through that. I don't know what that feels like.
yeah. It's my first one. I'm 37 years old, and it's my first true close family member to pass away. Yeah, I've had a grandpa pass away, but he didn't live here, right? Like, um, I've had cousins and aunts, but not someone you see every day, right?
Hmm.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
so it's one of those things where, um, yeah, like you don't know how you're gonna feel until it happens. It's like
And
one of
it
those.
was unexpected. I mean, she was
Oh,
30.
absolutely, absolutely. I was texting her the day it happened. I
Wow.
was talking to her, like we're texting, like we would always send funny memes to each other, through TikTok. She would always send me TikTok stuff all the time. I saw her the night before randomly. I'd gone to the grocery store and I forgot my debit card, and the grocery store that I go to doesn't take Apple Pay, and so I was like, oh damn. I was like, well, this was a wasted trip. Let me stop by my parents. So my parents live 5 minutes down the road from me. So I got
Mhm.
to to come back to my house, I got to pass their house. So it's like, let me just stop at mom and dad's and see what they're doing. Like, make this trip meaningful. And I stopped and she's obviously there. But I remember I didn't really talk to her that much while I was there. and that's one of my things where I like very much regret. But it's one of those things where like I vividly remember everything. I remember sitting on the couch. My mom's right here. She's right there. My youngest daughter, Camila's running around playing with toys. My niece is there playing with toys. But I didn't, I mean, she was right there, but I didn't really like engage with her as much. I was really just talking to my mom. And it wasn't like we're fighting. I just
Yeah.
wasn't, I see her every day.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I need to talk to you because this is the last time I'm going to this is the last time I'm going to talk to you physically. This is the last time that I'm going to see you. This is the last time that you will be here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it really messed me up in November. Which is a very strange thing. Like it was very strange because she passed away in May. In June, I was okay. July, I was okay. August, I'm okay. September, I'm okay. October, I'm okay. For some reason or not. November, I don't know what happened. I don't know what triggered it. I do have an idea, but the dam broke. The dam broke. Simple as that. And emotion, depression, sadness, everything just flooded. And so maybe could have been because it's the holidays, so it's like that first holiday without your loved one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, yeah, again, good to go back, unexpected. And it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, you just don't know how you're going to act, and you don't know what it does to you till it happens. But I don't want the podcast to get super sad. Just know that she was an amazing person. If anybody who knows me, if you think that I was positive, if people think that whatever you think about me, triple that with my sister. She was the most caring, the most loving, zero ego in her, zero pride in her, which separated us very much because I'm very much, I have a lot of pride, unfortunately. I do have slight bit of ego-ness. I am a guy. I apologize. I'm working on it. Okay. But my sister, none of that. She could open up to anybody, and people would open up to her because she wouldn't judge. She wouldn't nothing. I'm kind of very much like tough love. Like if someone tell me their problems, I'd be like, well, get it together. You're gonna do this and not, like very much guy kind of locker room talk, like, but my sister would sit there and
no judgment or
no judgment, let you vent, understand, and she was
Yeah.
just amazing. And I actually made a post about her today. I was like, you know what? It's you don't know how much someone meant to not only you, but your family dynamic until they're like, she truly was the star. But nobody acknowledged her as the star.
Right.
Nobody talked about her as the star. But then she's gone. It's like, and we're all just broken. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, family members, cousins are like, holy crap, like she was the star of our family. Like she was everything. And
Wow.
but
Yeah.
yeah, don't want to get sad. Don't want to get sad. Let's keep it positive. Like again, like I said, guys, she was amazing. She's looking down on us. She's in heaven, and it will.
And I'm sure she's so proud of you,
Yes.
for doing everything that you're doing, for, talking about her and just being this role model, for especially for your daughters too.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm sure this is probably, I don't know, is this like the only time you've talked about it in a
Yeah,
podcast?
no, yeah, well, it is. It actually is.
Yeah.
I've never I may have brought it up. No, I honestly don't know. I
Yeah.
think this is probably the first time I've ever like
Yeah.
really dove in and talked
Yeah.
about it for sure.
Okay. So to go back to the diet stuff, what is
Yes.
your diet and exercise like right now?
Yeah, so over the years it's evolved, right? So when I first started, remember guys, my mindset is I got to lose body fat. I got to get healthy. I want to get shredded. I want to get abs. I got to look better than that dude. And so, I'm following this very, very strict ketogenic diet. But lost 70 pounds. I look great. I don't need to lose any more weight. Like, you get to the point where like, okay, like enough is enough. Like, how much weight do you want to lose?
Mhm.
And I was like, well, I want to be a bodybuilder. So I guess I got to start building muscle now. And so, I played around with carnivore. I played around with OMAD. I've done extended fasting for years and years. Um, but then I started incorporating carbs pre and post workout. And I found that worked, great for me. It worked good for me. And another thing is that what a lot of people don't understand is like, listen, when you get in shape and you reverse your chronic diseases and you're building muscle, you're able to handle those foods that you used to have in the past a lot better, right? I can have rice, sweet potato, beans, whatever. I'm not going to get that massive blood sugar spike that I used to have when I was in that bad shape, right? Because what? I have muscle. I am in great shape. And so my body can absorb that, right? It's like your muscles are like a sponge to those glucose, right?
Right.
Especially pre and post workouts, right? Especially post workout, you eat those, they're just going to get shoveled into the muscles, right? So that's typically how I eat now is I'll just structure my carbs around my workouts. If it's an off day, then I just try to limit them as much as possible because you don't really need them, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I did take a step back and I got away from labeling the way I ate. And the number one reason why is because like I'm in this for the long haul. Like I'm in this for life, right? I'm in this fitness gang for life. And so it's like no going back. I'm never going back to the old me. And so this is just the way I eat. Are some days keto? Sure. Are some days carbs? Yeah. Are everyday whole foods? Absolutely. Are some days carnivore? Yes. But I don't consider myself carnivore. I don't consider myself keto. I don't consider myself low carb or high carb, whatever. I just eat healthy.
Yeah.
And that's really it. And to go back, if my daughters want to go have ice cream with their dad, I'm gonna go have ice cream. If they
Right.
want to have yogurt, I'm gonna eat yogurt. Before, when I was overweight, it was very stressful. I had a very bad relationship with food. If I had a cheat meal or a cheat snack or anything, I would punish myself. I would make myself go work out, make myself fast for 24 hours, make myself do these long, grueling cardio sessions. And I would just be saying negative things to myself, like, Logan, you're so stupid. Why did you do that? Just a very, very negative relationship with food. And that took me a couple of years to get out of. I remember at the Thanksgiving, I would be like so paranoid, like, oh my God, what did my aunt put in this? Is this going to knock me out of ketosis? Oh my God, is there sugar in here? Not focusing on the memories, not focusing on time with loved ones that you only see once a year during Thanksgiving.
Right.
I'm focusing on macros, right? And so I got out of that. Like now, like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm never going back to my old self. So if I want to enjoy Thanksgiving, I'm going to enjoy Thanksgiving because you know what? I'll be back into the gym the next day. I'll be
Yeah.
back to my normal way of eating, and that's it. Just like one meal is not going to get you fit, healthy, and reverse your chronic diseases. One bad meal is not going to reverse all of that. So,
Exactly. Very well put. And that is something that I see people, especially in carnivore, it's like if they veer off carnivore like right away, then it's this all or nothing mentality, which creates
yes,
binges and then all or nothing, like, thousands of calories in one meal. And so it's like you can be whatever you think is best for you, but it doesn't have to be such like a black and white situation. And I think it
yeah,
comes from a little bit of a weakness from a mental strength perspective, in that um, some people haven't put in the work to strengthen their, I mean, I know I was that person too, and I don't think I'm still there. Like it's a journey, but to develop mental strength, it's a long road. And so when you're in the earlier stages and mental strength is still in the weaker stages, you're so scared of everything and you feel like if I just do carnivore, that's it, that's going to be the solution. Little do they know, it's like you get sick one week, and if you don't have this discipline, you don't have this trust in yourself, it's so easy to then just undo all of the work.
Yeah.
So yeah. And what about exercise right now? How's the exercise program?
Exercise. So I train Monday through Friday. I'm a very much wannabe bodybuilder. So I train bodybuilding. I got my chest day on Monday, my back day on Tuesday. Today's gonna be leg day. Not looking forward to it. And tomorrow will be shoulders, and then Friday was arms and deadlifts, and take the weekend off. And that's
And
pretty much my schedule.
cardio?
Cardio after my workout, and I'm the discipline I'm working on my cardio first thing in the morning. This podcast all about telling the truth. Did I do cardio this morning? Nope. Did I have an opportunity to? Yes. But even me, guys, I'm human. So I want everybody to just like take it easy on yourself. Like, even me, I struggle with discipline, but I still know that it's super important. And I want to get back to because Sarah, like every morning was cardio. Just like people get up in the morning, brush their teeth. I got up and did cardio no matter what. And so I'm trying to get back there. But what's a really interesting thing psychologically is how easy it is to break discipline. Like
Yeah.
it is, and how hard it is to get back. I mean, when I tell you guys, like, I didn't know how to start my day if I didn't do cardio. Like, let's say, like, I woke up late, or if I had a meeting that went on for like, I don't know, three hours, I'd be like, oh my God, how would I start my day? I need to go do my cardio, like, before I can do anything. And so, yeah, no, it's one of those things where like it's very interesting on how easy it is to break something and how hard it is to get back. So,
That's
yeah.
what I tell everybody all the time that I work with them. It's like when they have a vacation, I start preparing them weeks in advance because I don't think they realize it until they really are paying attention to their fitness journey and their tracking. That is when you start paying attention. It's like, wow, just like 1 week away got me off track and I started struggling with that so much. It's like, this is why a lot of successful entrepreneurs, they will not go on vacation because they don't want to break that momentum because they realize just how fickle it is and how quickly you can, it's just so much harder to get back
Very
to
easy.
the groove
It's
of things.
very easy to break it and very hard to get back.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly. Supplements?
Supplements. So creatine every single day, and then I do take a pre-workout, and I do take a post-workout meal sometimes. I mean a protein shake. The reason why I do that is that it's very hard to get enough protein in, especially for me. So I gotta aim for 200 plus grams of protein every day. It's hard. It's hard, guys. I know a lot. I know there's probably some maybe bodybuilders watching this like, oh my God, brother. Like, don't say it's hard to eat. It is. It like when you're eating high fat food, when you're eating ground beef, when you're eating eggs, when you're eating steak, it keeps you full. You're
Mhm.
not hungry. But at the same time, you need to eat to grow. That's the bodybuilding mindset. Eat to grow. And so I find it very easy if I take a protein shake.
Yeah.
Boom, 50 grams protein right there in like 2 chugs or
Yeah.
3, whatever. But protein very much big on. And then I mean, I get a lot of companies that send me supplements all the time. And so I got a cabinet literally just full of everything you can think of, right? And sometimes I take stuff, sometimes I don't, but electrolytes every single day. Every single day. I take red mineral salts. Um, Obviously creatine, and then the protein shakes, and then pre-workout. But other than that, like, again, there's 3 different companies have sent me beef liver, um, complex stuff. Yeah, I sometimes take it, sometimes don't. I don't know. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
companies will send me stuff all the time, but those are
Yeah.
like the 3 main ones that I always do.
Perfect. Perfect. So now everybody knows your diet, exercise, and supplements. The one thing I forgot to ask you is about reverse dieting. Did you ever reverse diet out?
Did. Yeah, I
Oh,
did. I did do that. And this is when I had a coach. I had a coach helping me do reverse dieting. And it's hard. It is very hard.
it's harder than the diet
I
because you're not getting that
No,
dopamine hit,
yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
very hard. I did it my post show.
Yeah.
And I did it for a little while, but like, like life happens, and I kind of fell off. But it's hard. Yeah.
It's harder post-show because you're already at an unsustainable, really, really low body weight, you know? And
Yeah.
so it's like, how, I don't know, sometimes
Well,
maybe you can just go back up to maintenance, add those few pounds that you need just for survival, and then reverse a little bit out.
you know what the hardest thing for me is, and I still very much have that fat guy inside of me, that fat, insecure person inside of me sometimes. And so what the hard thing for me, completely honest, was that it was hard to not look the same way that I did during my show. Knowing that you're increasing calories, now you're a little bit fluffier. Now the abs are a little bit harder to see. Now you don't look too defined. Now where are all your veins? And I was like, I'm not really liking this. And that was kind of honestly one of the biggest reasons why I kind of stopped reverse dieting, because I was like, I don't want to get it's just very look, ask any bodybuilder, do they have body dysmorphia? Absolutely. Because when they're shredded, they want to be big. When they're big, they want to be shredded. So you're never happy, right? Like I just told you, I want to grow, I want to get big. And it's like, oh my God. Then you start getting big and you don't have any more abs. And you're like, okay, never mind, stop. Mini cut, time for a mini cut. And then you
Exactly.
go back
Yeah.
to your abs, and then you're like, oh, then a big dude walks in, you're like, oh man, I want to get big. It's just
Right.
constant, guys. I joke around with this. I tell people all the time, the day that you become a bodybuilder is the day that you have body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
So um
It
it,
never ends.
it never ends. So I joke around about it, but I very much like, yeah, I have this back and forth. Like there's days that I want to be big and jacked, and there's days like I was like, I want to be able to take my shirt off and have abs. And like you can't do both. Like
Right.
any successful bodybuilder goes through phases where they're just massive and they do not look shredded at all.
Yeah.
And then when it's time to shred down, they look amazing. So
Right. And it's like when you're shredding, you're happy, but then it's like you're stuck at the same weight. And it's like, oh, if I know, like if I just eat a little bit more, I can get some new PRs. Yeah,
yes.
it's the whole thing. I also forgot to ask you about when you went through that transformation, how did your immediate family members react to this massive shift, right,
Yeah.
in your diet and lifestyle?
So, yeah, so my culture, they roast you. Like they say they roasted me, like, but in a funny way, in a good, like it's like, you know, where you got like a big family,
Mhm.
and it's like family can roast each other, but if you get like an outside friend start roasting, you're like, whoa. You're like,
Right,
only we can roast each other. You
right.
don't, you're not, like, so that's how it was. Like every family event I went to, every birthday party, they would be like, "Hey, Logan, is this keto?" Knowing that it's not keto. Like they know they'd eat cake, they'd eat fries, they'd eat, "Hey, Logan, is this keto? Hey, Logan, is this keto?" And
So
so they
cruel. Yeah,
roasted me all
I
the time,
know.
but in a fun, joking way, in a
Yeah.
family way. And no, it was they deep down, like absolutely, they would always say like, "Man, you look great, mijo," which in Spanish means little boy. They'd
Mm.
like, "Oh, you look great." Like my aunts and uncles would always tell me, "You look good." Like, oh, um, so yeah, they loved it. My parents were proud of me. Again, like you, my sister was my the one that passed away, Marissa.
Mhm.
Both sisters are big supporters of me, but Marissa was the number one. Like she would not shut up about me. Like she would brag about me all the time. Like she was my number one supporter, number one fan, number one hype girl, number one believer. Like
Wow.
um, yeah, I, yeah, my family, all my mom, dad, proud of me, everybody. Now, interesting. This is kind of something I need a women's perspective on this, and so for women that are watching this is gonna be funny. It's gonna be interesting. Um, I don't think my wife liked it.
Ah,
Because my wife, she she has a very fast metabolism.
okay.
So she doesn't like she's not fat at all. Like she's just normal. Um, but she's not interested in doing keto.
Right.
She's not like she loves pasta, she loves pizza, she loves, she loves her Starbucks drinks. Like she just didn't really want to change. And so I kind of felt like she maybe didn't like that I wasn't eating the same foods as her. So
Right.
here she is ordering a pizza because she loves the pizza and breadsticks, and that would be a meal that I would typically share with her.
Right.
Here I am eating ground beef, avocado, and green beans, and she's eating by herself, right?
Mhm.
Because then I would also have different times, like my I had times of when I would eat. Um, and so I think she probably didn't like it, like, having to eat dinner by herself because
Right.
she, I would get off earlier than her, so then I'd have my meal at, whatever, 7.
Yeah.
She would eat her meal later on. So
Right.
it's just one of those things. Like, it's like, I don't know, like I don't think she was a big fan of it,
Yeah.
but really proud of the progress and the journey that I made. But it was probably
Yeah.
like, I miss having my old husband back that would eat whatever with me. And
Oh,
yeah.
she tells you that. I was.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's like, anybody, people would ask her, like, "Are you doing keto with him?" She'd be like, "No," but she eventually did come around. She did come around later down the years. She did come around and do it with me because our first child and our second child, she got gestational diabetes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not just about the weight loss. At some
Yeah,
point, everybody hits that
yeah.
region, you know? Yeah.
So for our second child, she was like, "Look, I do not want to have a C-section,"
Mm,
and she had gestational diabetes. So I was like, "Okay, well, look, this is what you need to do.
yeah.
I'll help you out." Um, Long story short, she ended up having Camila, and Camila just popped out. So
Nice.
uh, it worked. So
Mhm.
yeah, she kind of, got the gestational diabetes out of control. I mean, she got it in control.
Yeah.
Camila was able to come out naturally.
Love that. Yeah, I knew, like, I always ask this question because I know the people that are closest to you sometimes, because you're kind of dragging them into a lifestyle change that they aren't prepared
Absolutely.
for, you
Yes.
know? And any
Yep.
any habit change is gonna feel a little uncomfortable. So if they don't have a strong reason, it's gonna feel a little bit weird, you know?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And I want to be respectful of your time, but I do want you to touch upon one final thing. With the YouTube, we were talking about it earlier, and I know just by working with my clients, and I notice like people really want to be their own bosses. They want to be creative. They want to have that life. And you mentioned that your biggest advice off the air that you want to be consistent. So do you have any additional advice that you would want to add to that, or like maybe like what in your experience, what blew up your YouTube channel? Like anything you can add to help people out in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, number one, like I told you earlier, is consistency. No one, you can't expect anybody to invest their time into you if you're not going to consistently show up,
Hmm.
right? So whatever niche you have, whatever passion you have, whatever you are into, be consistent about it. And then also build on that, work on it, right? So there was phases in my life, right? It was starting social media, then working on social media, obviously finding times that I can work on social media, because I had a 9 to 5. Then I eventually was able to break away from the 9 to 5. Then knowing that, okay, well, I need a longer game plan. I can't do this forever. Creating my own business, right? Becoming a business owner that's going to last longer. So there's different phases, but number one, you got to be consistent. You got to give every minute and hour that you can extra into these things because I get it. Most likely you're going to have a 9 to 5, and so you're going to have responsibilities. Not only that, maybe you don't, but you're a parent. Kids take up a lot of your time. So any spare minute, spare hour that you can focus on your passion, I promise you. And then also this, you're probably not going to see success right off the bat. I didn't just wake up one day and have 100,000 followers. It took years. It took years, but me consistently showing up, making videos, making content, gradually it was like it became a snowball. And then once the snowball started going down the hill, nothing was going to stop it. So, um,
Yes.
yeah, just yeah, I just got to find what your passion is, whatever you're into. It's like, man, YouTube and social media is so big today. Like, it's crazy what I find on the internet that I'm like, this guy's blowing up from this. Like, this is what people like. What? This
Yeah.
is but people love it, right? And it could be the craziest things. Do you remember the years when it was like, what was it called, like ASMR, which I think
Right.
is
It's still a thing, by the way.
it's no, it absolutely is still a thing. But I remember back when I like when my channel was was in its peak and growing, those AMSMR videos were like just everybody loving them. Like, why do people love this? It's like this girl's literally just eats all day, every day on her channel, and she's getting millions of views. I'm
Yeah.
like, here I am, like busting my ass off. I film a video that takes all day, then I gotta edit it all day the next
Don't
day.
get me started on
And
that.
then
Oh,
all this girl does is just has to do this. And I'm like, and she's killing it. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I need to reevaluate my life choices. Like, if I can just eat food and do a sound, like,
I I have a crisis like that every week. Literally every week I have a crisis. It's like, what am I doing? And right now, it's been 3 days. I'm editing this YouTube video and it's still not done. I'm halfway through,
I
and
saw
it's
that.
like,
Yeah, I know. I saw you editing it. I saw that.
right, I'm dying. Ugh, but yeah, but because I love it, we persist and we're consistent, and eventually we are bound to get to the millions. I
yeah.
know it for sure. Thank you so much, Logan. Now, tell me and everybody how they can work with you, how they can support your company, all the
Yeah.
services you're offering.
Yeah, so you can support my YouTube channel. It's at Goodybeats. You can follow me on Instagram. It's at Goodybeats. And you can follow my business, my company, BioCoach, guys, on Instagram. It's biocoach.io. And you can sign up for our BioCoach program if you're somebody who needs help. Maybe you're someone who has type 2 diabetes, you're insulin resistance, you have PCOS, you're obese, or you don't know where to start. You don't know what food you should be eating, on what to do, on how to track your biomarkers, which having data on yourself is so important, right? Because the more data you have on yourself, the better you can make adjustments. You're not just shooting off in the dark. And so you can sign up for our BioCoach program. Check us out. It's biocoach.io. We also are working on a DPP program, which is a diabetes prevention program, because we won the biggest grant in CDC history last year. So
Nice.
we won a 15.3 million dollar grant over the next 5 years with the CDC.
Whoa,
And so,
that's phenomenal.
yeah, thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you. Yeah, and that's why our team has grown so much, because with that grant money, we obviously we have to build a team, and they asked us to help them build a diabetes prevention program because they probably saw what we're doing and they know the numbers. They've seen the numbers. Diabetes is skyrocketing. Type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes is skyrocketing here in America, and they need help. And so we're going to help them with that. So yeah, look, again, if you know anybody who needs help, maybe your mom, your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your cousin, your friend, send them our way. We'd love to get them set up on our platform, and we have everything they'll need to get started and be successful.
Absolutely. I'm going to link the direct links to your the company, your Instagram handles, everything. So it's very easy for everybody to check you out and follow you. You have fantastic content. I'm just so grateful that I got to meet you and we had this chat today. Hopefully I'll see you at KetoCon
Yes,
in
well,
Texas. Yep. And thank you so much for your time. This has been fantastic.
yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.